Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to this week's reading vlog. I am reading some of you guys as a 5-star. Left his son. He's a villain. It's a red flag. Cut me open and make me feel it. What happened to your mental health? What is it? I'm incredibly excited for this one. I am, because I haven't had a 5-star since January, I think, or February. It's been a while. Like, I've been reading books, I've been loving books, but nothing has hit me in the heart, you know what I mean? And I feel like maybe some of your 5-star will become my 5-star. I just want to feel something. I just want to read a book that's going to tear me apart, heal me in some type of ways. So I did ask you guys what were some of your recent 5-stars, and I did get good replies. So I went to my library and I borrowed some books, and the first one we're going to start with is Don't Cry For Me. I am excited for this one because I've heard wonderful things. I think I saw Brandy, she read this book and she loved it. I think she rated it either like a 4.5 or maybe a 5-star, but it was high up there for her and it was on my radar, but then I completely forgot about it. So when I saw your comment, and this was, I think, the second, you gave me a list of books, and I chose this one. I chose Take My Hand, but I'm on hold for that one. And this one, they had it available in my library, at my library, so pick that one up. And it's Don't Cry For Me. I think it says a black father makes amends with his gay son through letters. I believe, I don't want to read the whole synopsis, but I think this is about a father who was dying, or like he passed away or something, but he didn't have like a good relationship with his son, so he left his son like a lot of letters, and after his passing, his son ended up reading the letters. I think that's what happened, but I just want to feel something. Like, I haven't felt anything this past couple of months. There was this weird part where I thought I wasn't reading slow because I just kept reading very slow, and I've been sick. You guys, I have been sick the whole entire week. Been sick. So I just want to read some books this week. I want to read some of you guys' 5-star this week, feel something, get my heart broken a little bit, get my heart healed a little bit. We are starting with one that I truly feel like I'm going to love. Don't Cry For Me.
You wanted something you could feel in your heart, and I didn't know what that was. My generation had never had it. Granddaddy or grandma never kissed me or read to me or touched me lovingly. I don't think granddaddy could read it all. Grandma could. Only time granddaddy touched me was to whoop me.
Thin skin, I'm underwater. Is this really happening? You stay silent, you don't mind. Happiness or dollar signs to you. What about not stealing anyone's time? Anyone's time.
Hi guys, I finished it. I finished this little thing. We did not talk the whole time I was reading it. I started listening to it, started it, came home, and I sat here and I finished it. Can I say, I did not know that we were going to follow Jacob's POV. Jacob is a father. This is about a father writing his son letters to like kind of apologize to his son to like the things that he has done and said to the son. The son is gay and he wasn't like the great father. So knowing that, I went into it thinking we were going to follow the son, Isaac. I thought we were going to follow him, see how he's living now, and then the father was going to pass away, and then the little lawyer or something was going to bring him the letters, and we were going to see his reaction to his father's letters. But no, no, we actually were following Jacob, the father, and like seeing his process and when he was writing the letters. Can I just say I cried? I cried a lot reading this little book. I did not expect me to cry as much as I did, but I cried like I think 3 times reading this little thing. And I did not expect it. And I think it just felt so personal. Like, it's about Jacob. He was brought up in the like 1800s, like back in the days, back in the days where, you know, a lot of toxic masculinity was being, you know, installed in men. Sorry about that. My little cart was full. But Jacob brought up in the back in the day time where masculinity was very much alive, very much strong and being installed in our little young men. And it was really sad, but then at the same time, the fact that like I kind of understood where everything was coming from, because it was back in the day where very much like, you know, slavery wasn't alive, but it was still there. You know, things were still happening back in the day, and you had to be strong. You couldn't cry, you couldn't show emotion, you couldn't be a little kid in that time, especially a black kid in that time. And so he was brought up very, don't want to say manly. It's like he was brought up a toxic men with toxic masculinity. So you can only imagine a man now has a son, and his son is kind of feminine. His son, there was this one scene where his son literally used a napkin and patted his lips. He's like, "Man, don't do that." I'm like, "What? Calm down, like calm down, like let's just breathe for a second. Let's breathe for a second, okay? I need you to breathe, Jacob." But yeah, the whole time I was reading this, it felt really, really personal, because I feel as if I was listening to like a man in my church or something talking and realizing how much he made mistake and why he needs to just relearn life and something like that. And that was basically what Jacob was doing. It felt really heavy. It was a story where like I finished it in less than 24 hours, but it just stayed with me for the whole day and today, and I'm sure forever, because we're following Jacob. We getting how he was raised, and we getting his, little parts of his life. He had a brother, and it says in the book like his brother was like the only person that kind of showed him an ounce of an affection, because his brother used to like rub his head before they fall asleep, and then the brother stopped doing that, and he says that broke his heart, and that made me cry, you guys. That made me cry because he's explaining how he was brought up and explaining how men couldn't do certain things, and you couldn't be gay, and you couldn't like another this, and you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. And being a black kid, and back in the day, all you had to do was just go to work and go to work and go to work and wake up and go to work, and on Sundays you would think you will rest. No, you work in the field, you doing that. And so when he said his brother was like the only person that like showed him affection, and something, the brother stopped, I just started crying. And mind you, that was like this big in the book. It was this big. Another thing that really messed me up, first of all, by the author's note, I hope I'm not saying too much about this book. I feel like I can't say too much about the book because I don't want to spoil anything. All you have to know is that it's about a father, Jacob, writing his son's letters and apologizing to the son because he did a lot to the son. But then you read, like, the more you read the book, the more you see how he was brought up and why he did the thing that he did. Not that he was right at all, but then you see that, like, because I went in the book thinking Jacob, the father, he's a villain, but then you get the villain origin story, like, oh well, he couldn't have known any better. Like, how did he know any better? So yeah, I literally cannot say too much other than that, but I do want to share the parts that made me cry, because there was a lot. I cried too much reading this book. One part that made me cry was when I wrote there, like, he started talking about his relationship to his grandfather, his brother, his grandma. His grandma taught him how to cook once. That part made me cry. I was like, oh my god, why am I crying? This is such a sweet moment. Why am I crying? Something with his brother, that broke me. That broke me. Also, he was talking about school, and when he started going to school and how happy he was and how he was smart in school and wanted to learn and wanted to read. He had me thinking, obviously, now that, like, I'm a reader, I love to read, I love escaping in books, and it just made me think about this little thing. I felt like it was a history little lesson. I was like, oh wow, that's so crazy. And so he was in school, his teacher will ask him something, and like he will be overjoyed when he gets an answer correctly, and I'm like, oh my god, that is crazy. And so I'm reading it, and it had me thinking back in the day how our people couldn't go into stores to buy books and how we weren't allowed to read and all of that, and I'm getting emotional. It honestly messes me up a little bit. Like, I had to sit there and think about it for a second. Obviously, I'm aware that these things happen in our history, but it was just crazy reading this book, not knowing this book was going to be so heavy, like not knowing it's going to be that personal. I just picked it up thinking he's gonna say sorry to his son because he did not accept him as a gay kid. Like, he's probably just going to say that maybe he was a Christian. This is why people think Christian are horrible. But no, it was deeper, it was more personal, and I feel like crying. I feel like crying thinking about it. There was so many parts in that book that just made me cry, but that part specifically just resonated with me right now. Obviously, I'm a reader and I want to be a writer, and being the fact that I can say that out loud and having the freedom to say that, and I can go to Barnes & Noble, go to any, if I cry, I can go to Barnes & Noble, any bookstore, and just pick up a book and escape. It just had me for a second. And other thing that made me cry, if I cry, I'm going to be bad. Okay. So that letter, when he was writing about the whole thing about how smart he was and how he learned how to school, like how to read, that just stayed with me for a second. I wrote that. I literally said that part broke me. Also, this one stayed with me. I said his grandpa had something medical that happened to him, and the doctor told him, hey, you need to rest up, you need to stay in bed. But the next day, man woke up, he was like, I gotta go work the field. And I was like, isn't it crazy how, first of all, he thought that he had to do that to be a man, like, oh, I have to do that to make sure my family are fine, all of that. But isn't it crazy how especially black men, like, it's just black people in general, but like black men somehow just feels like it's like not manly to rest. Does that make sense? Because I see that in some of the men in my life sometimes. Like, they can't just have a Saturday where they just sit there. It's like, no, I must do something, I must do it. And I was like, we have come a long way with toxic masculinity, I can say that. And the men that are in my life, they're very like, they do things now, I'm just like, wonderful, you're learning a lot. And so when I saw that part, and when the grandfather woke up, he was like, oh, I gotta go to work, I'm going to work the field. And the grandma was like, you were supposed to be resting, you were supposed to be here, you can't go out today. And then in his mind, he's like, well, I gotta go there. And you know, that was supposed to be like a manly thing to do. And I'm like, wow, you couldn't just rest for a bit? You couldn't rest after this big thing that happened to you, medically happened to you? So a lot of part stayed with me and is going to stay with me forever. And I love it. I love it. I can't say, I honestly cannot say too much, but just know that he was raised with a lot of just toxic masculinity. And the more you read it, the more you understand why he was raised like that and how he kind of had to teach himself to unlearn these things. But yeah, I feel like I didn't do it justice talking about it, but I loved it so much. I adore it. I adore this book. I sent a picture to my sister. I was like, you must read it. But you guys, I got a little text from my library, and I thought all the books, because I have Isola on hold, I have Take My Hand on hold, and I have a couple of other books on hold, because I asked you guys like in the little comment, like, what was like your most recent 5 stars? So I put everything on hold, but it was just this one. And I'm really, really excited to read this one, because there's some person that says this was the recent 5 star. It was one of yours. So now I must read this. I trust you now with my life, because I'm pretty sure I'll give you the rating, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be 5 or 6 star for me, because I love it so much. But I went to my library expecting all 3, but it was just this. So I'm really excited to read this one. But I did start The Deep Sky. This is, I think, actually, I don't have an audiobook for this, and I have a lot of doctor's appointment this week, so I don't think I can read 3 books. But I did start this, and I'm really enjoying it. However, I do think this is going to be my next read, because I think the audiobook is on Spotify, and I think I have hours left on Spotify. So I feel like when I'm going in and out of doctor's office, I could just listen to this. But I'm really, really, really excited for this one. Really excited. It's about Phoebe. From what I've heard, it's about Phoebe, a female main character. She goes to Rhode Island to kind of like end her life, but there's this wedding happening at the hotel she goes to, and I think she became friendly or like best friend with the bride or something like that, and then maybe decided not to. But really, really interested about reading. It's a woman fiction. I'm lately all I want to read for some odd reasons, like woman fiction, historical fiction, something deeper than just romance, fluffy romance, my usual little pick. I don't know what's going on, but I've been enjoying the woman fiction of books like Don't Cry For Me. I love a book. After I close it, I know this story is never leaving my brain. You know what I mean? Do I read to escape? But I need something that's gonna cut me open and make me feel, and Don't Cry For Me give me all this feel. So I feel like this is the perfect little book to read after. However, I did start The Deep Sky, and it's really good. It's basically like our Earth right now. It's not working well. It's over for us. The Earth is gone. And they sent up, I believe, 80 women, couple of women up, you know, in space to look for like a new home for us. And some are pregnant to like populate the new plan for us to go, and something like an accident happened, like a little accident happened. But is it an accident, or did someone actually did something to kill somebody in there? That's where I'm at. I would love to read it this week, however I don't think so. You guys, I've been sick. Can we just talk about this for a second? I've been sick. Like, I know I look decent now, but I was sick the whole week. I was in bed, sickly sick. So now I must go see every doctor possible to find out what's wrong with me. I don't know why, but I've just been too sick. So we must go to the doctor. We're going tomorrow. And then after that, I think I have 2 other more. So we'll figure out what's wrong with me. However, yeah, I do think I'm gonna go with this one because I don't have the audiobook with this one, and it's a sci-fi, so I want to take my sweet time to understand everything that's happening. But it's really good so far. I'm really intrigued. I want to finish it and see how much I rate it. But I do think I'm gonna start with the Wedding People.
Like he was the mailman, wishing her well. She could not bring herself to do a single thing after except climb in bed and drink gin and tonics.
Guys, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't know how to feel about this book. And it's weird because in the beginning I was really enjoying it. I was really loving it. But now I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I started it yesterday. I had a doctor's appointment, like I told you guys, so I started listening to it. And on my way to the doctor, I was like, oh, this is going to end me. Like, this is going to actually make me cry. And I teared up. I teared up because the main character, Phoebe, her name is Phoebe, we're following Phoebe. Nothing is going well in her life. Her husband cheated, left with the mistress, her cat died. She wants to be a writer, but not really writing. Literally nothing well is going on in her life. So she decided to go to this hotel in Rhode Island and like end her life basically. But then the hotel she goes to is actually booked for this wedding, and it's like $1 million wedding, right? So the people there are really rich, they have drama and all of that. But I think the thing that happened to me is that maybe I felt too close to like Phoebe's story or something, because she, you know, like wants to end her life. So she's severely depressed. She's going through a lot mentally. But then halfway through this book, like I don't know when, we kind of just stopped talking about that. Phoebe decided she didn't want to do it anymore, which is great, which is wonderful, which is great. You know, don't do it. But then it has not been mentioned. Like this whole book, Phoebe forgot she wanted to do it. Like I was like, it just disappeared. Like how did depression and sadness just disappear out of your life in just one day? Like how is this possible? Like to say I want to do it, you go to Rhode Island, you rent, like you get the hotel room, you ready to do it, and then you wake up like, hey, actually, never mind. And I'm like, oh, okay. All right. And then there's also this weird thing happening to Phoebe and someone, and there's somebody in this book. I'm predicting this book. Okay, wait, skip to this part because so far I've been right with my prediction, and I just want to predict the ending. And if I'm right, I don't want to ruin the book for you. So skip to this part. If I'm right, I'm gonna put it here, right? I'm predicting Phoebe and Gary, the grooms, like the husband to be, is going to end up together. That's my prediction. And I hope I'm wrong, but I hardly doubt it. I strongly believe somehow they're going to end up together. That's where I'm at. And I'm going to hate it. She ended up going to the pool or like this hot tub thing, but she ended up walking around the hotel, and then there's this man that walked in, and the moment that man walked out, I was like, he's the groom. Like he's the groom to be. He does not want to get married really, because he like walked out, and this is supposed to be like this like beautiful stranger that feels a deep connection with Phoebe. And I'm like, oh no, this is the groom, isn't it? And so he sits there and he's talking to her, and they're talking together, and they're talking, and they're having this deep talk, and I'm just annoyed. Because I'm like, sir, you are supposed to be married. Why are you here? Emotionally cheating? Like, why is this a thing? And then Phoebe, out of nowhere, just said to this man, I want to F you. And then he's like, oh, I didn't expect you to say that. And I'm like, me neither. I don't know who this is. This is I don't know why. why she just told you she want to do this thing. And then he's like, oh, I should tell you. And she goes, you with someone. I'm like, not only is he with someone, he has to be the groom. Like, this is the groom, because we hadn't met the groom. We met Lila, who's going to be the bride, and she's supposed to be this bridezilla, but I like Lila. Like, I think Lila is cool. Every time Lila is just like checking on Phoebe, making sure she's okay. And like, we can say Lila don't really want Phoebe to like end her life because this is like her wedding week. She's like, oh, no, I'm spending a lot of money in this hotel. You cannot you cannot do that. And I'm thinking, just call the police. they lock her up in a psych ward. Like, call the police. Why is she here still? But I'm like, okay, Lila is a nice person, letting you stay here in this beautiful room with the ocean view. That's nice. And am I supposed to hate her? What am I supposed to do? I don't know. I'm predicting that Phoebe and Gary, that's his name, I don't like Gary, are going to end up together. That's what I'm predicting, and I don't know how to feel about it. And that's weird, because in the beginning, I felt a lot. I cried because I know what it feels like to be depressed and to have the idea of like not wanting to be here. And like, you know, and she also went through the fact that she wanted to have kids and she had to do IVF. And that's also something that's close to my heart. So I'm sitting there like, all of that just disappear and now you want to leave. I'm not someone who believes that there needs to be a lesson in each book. I strongly don't believe that. This is a book that I love, Sunny Disposition. I forced my sister to read it the other day. She called me, she's like, nothing happened. I'm like, but wasn't it just fun? Like, did you not have a great time? Like, some of my favorite books are just fluffy romance, but in this one, when you pick up a book and the first chapter is about your main character that like did not want to be alive, and then he, like, weirdly just like forgot about it. Just like, she just like, hey, I'm good now. But then there was no time where she actually processed the whole thing. She just woke up at 3 a.m. and said, I am fine, I am healed. Let me go down to the pool and meet this stranger. Then the stranger is like the groom, and now they like having little moments. I'm like, what happened to your mental health? We're supposed to be right here. I fear we are all over. We on the east right now. Like, what is happening? I don't know. It had me like the first 30%. I could have swore it was gonna be a 5-star for me, or maybe like 4.5, because I felt everything. But now I'm like, I don't know what's happening. How are you in love with someone you met Monday? Like, how? This is gonna go to the spoiler part. You guys, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed because I'm going to be right, by the way. I'm going to be right. They're going to end up together. I'm annoyed because like, I'm like, how on earth do you just met somebody? Like, this is a week. This whole book is a week. So you met someone, let's just say you met someone on Tuesday. You're a grown man. Gary is like 40 something years old. So you mean to tell me you this grown, you have life experience? Like, he was married before, right? You were married, a whole kid, and you met this person in a hot tub days prior to your wedding, and you had this deep talk with this person in a hot tub, and you still can't stop thinking about it. And you're out here expressing to her like how you can't. This is what he says. Mind you, his wedding is tomorrow. He says, but I feel so drawn to you. I just want to be around you, Phoebe, because when I'm around you, I feel good. I feel honest. Sir, go over there and be honest with your fiance. And apparently, Lila is not in love with him. I'm like, no. What is happening? Apparently, Lila is not in love with him. I don't like that. I don't understand, because I'm like, wait a second. Wait a minute. So you guys met, let's just say they met in the beginning of the week. It is now Friday or Saturday, right? It's Saturday. There's no chapters. Like, yeah, it's Saturday because the next chapter is Sunday. So it's Saturday. You met in the beginning of the week, and you think you're in love with that person. How is that possible, Sweet? How? That's a red flag if I've ever seen one. Hi guys, I finished The Wedding People the other day. We didn't talk yesterday, but I finished it. I didn't finish The Deep Sky in this one. I'm actually really sad because I'm actually really enjoying it. It's just taken me a little time to like fully get in the middle of it, but so far I'm really enjoying it. I do think it's gonna be like a 4 something star because I'm enjoying the story so much, like the mystery of it. I told you guys about it. It's like a sci-fi type of thing, and that's why I think it's taking me forever, because I want to understand everything, though it's really easy to understand, but the little things that they mention that I know I'm supposed to be aware of, I'm like, okay, so this is happening. Like, I'm like, okay, this is happening. But it's really interesting. I really think it's going to be up there for me, and it's like my first sci-fi murder mystery thing happening in space, and I'm just intrigued. So I do want to finish it this weekend. Plus this weekend I want to do like a type of like mood read, because I feel like either my taste is changing. Guys, I think my taste in books is changing. I don't know what's happening, but I think it's changing. Because why don't I want to pick up my spring TBR? Because I was like, oh, I want to pick up my spring TBR. Like, I'm like, every little book I pick up that's like a little fun fluffy reads that I leave for the spring, I'm like, I don't know why I'm not in the mood. And I don't know if it's maybe I don't know what's going on, because I'm just like, why do I want something else? Like right now I'm more in the mood for like historical fiction, type of like woman fiction, something deeper. Like obviously I still very much love romance and I want contemporary romance, but I feel like I want something deeper. And I feel like the romance I've been reading so far, just once I close the book and I put it down, I no longer remember the couple. I'm like, I don't know, I forgot what this book was about. So I feel like maybe I'm either at the edge of a reading slump, or my taste in books is changing, or maybe I just don't want to read the fluffy romance right now, but in spring. So I feel like maybe the moment I touch the ocean, the moment I see the ocean, I'll be like, I want something light and breezy. Actually, let me go back to my shelves and pick up something very springy. But so far, I don't know what's going on with me. I don't want to pick up, like, you know how many fun little books that I saved up for the spring, and I went up there and I was like, let me pick up my TBR, and I was like, I don't care for any of them. And that does not give me an excuse to go shopping, right? It doesn't. But I think either my taste in book is changing, or I'm going on a reading slump, or I just need something deeper. But I really wish that I finished this one. I'm really intrigued about it. I do think I want to finish this weekend, and I'll tell you guys all about it. But I'm really enjoying it. But The Wedding People, I did finish it, and I'm kind of really happy we didn't talk yesterday, because I had the time to think about it and just like come up with my thoughts, and I come to the conclusion that I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I wish I did, because I told you guys how excited I was about it. It was one of the book that I wanted to read of like my list in 2025, and I just didn't like it. I didn't like it, and it's unfortunate that I didn't, because I went into it and I was like, I think I'm going to really enjoy it. I've heard wonderful things about it, and I have come to the conclusion it's because I understand the pain and felt as if I was being played with. Like, give me some pointers about how you just wake up one day and you just decide not to do that, and we never went back. Like, I know I said that the other day, but I promise you, this whole book I was like, why are we not going back to the fact that you wanted to end your life? And we never talk about it. This whole book, we just never brought it back. We never talked about it. We never ever talked about it, ever. And I was like, how is that possible? Like, how on earth is that possible? And yeah, I feel like Phoebe didn't sit with the pain. So the whole time I'm like, were you ever actually in pain? Did you ever experience the pain? Did you acknowledge pain existed? Yes, you did. You said, hey, this exists. But you didn't go through it. You didn't sit in there. You didn't really talk about it. She didn't go to therapy. She didn't talk about it really. She just woke up, hey, I'm alive. It's weird to say I'm alive. And then the whole week she was a therapist for the people in the wedding, the rich people with their problem and their drama. I didn't like it. I really didn't. And And it's unfortunate, but I didn't like it. Yes, the whole day yesterday, I was sitting there like, what do I think about it? I don't think about it. I don't think about it. I didn't like it. I very unfortunately didn't like it. But you know what I like though? I love this little book. It's a 5-star. Thank you so much, so very much for recommending this book to me, because I have not stopped thinking about it. I took a picture, sent it to my sister. I'm like, you must read this. You must read it. I need everyone to read it. I need my husband to read it, my brother to read it. Everybody must read this book. I loved it. I loved it. There's a second, it was called Isaac Song, I think it's called, and so I'm ready to read that one also. But I love this one. I really thank you. If you're watching this, thank you so very much for recommending this book. Thank you so much. I love it. I love it. I have not stopped thinking about it. I love the writing. I love the feelings it put out of me. I love how it felt like I was getting a history lesson almost, because sometimes he was talking about The Color Purple. So when The Color Purple came out, the book came out, he was reading it. So I was like, oh, so that was when this came out. And when Roots came out, him and his son were watching Roots, and I was like, oh, that's when Roots came out. And you know what I mean? Like, it felt close. It felt like a personal story to me. It felt like as if I could go, like it was a man in my church that was explaining like his whole life lesson, like the things that he's learned, how he was brought up. I feel like everyone of our life, especially in the Black community, maybe possibly know someone who was like this man, who was brought up to be hard and strong and like with toxic masculinity, and then have to like slowly learn like, oh, this is actually not the way to be. You know what I mean? I just truly love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the ending. I love the beginning to the end. So thank you so much. 5-star, 5 wonderful star. It was my favorite book of the month. So thank you so much for recommending it. I love it. But yeah, this I'm predicting is going to be a 4.5 or something. I really think so. But and this was a 5-star. I didn't like this one at all. I don't know what to rate it. It's just here. But that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. I feel like this was a really short video. I'm sorry if it was. I had a lot of things this week, but next week I promise it will be a long one. But I'll see you guys next time. God bless you, stay blessed, and goodbye.